If you've been wondering what the real estate market is doing right now, you're not alone. It's the start of 2026, and a lot of people I talk to are asking, is now a good time to buy? What's happening with the prices, and are rates finally coming down? If we haven't met, I'm Mary Tall, a local real estate broker here in San Diego, and I make videos every month to help you stay informed, feel confident, and make smart moves when it comes to real estate. Let's dive in. I'm going to break down what's really going on, starting with the national data. And then in part two, I'll share what I'm seeing right here, boots on the ground, locally in San Diego. These updates are meant to help you have a better understanding and give you more confidence, whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the housing market. Spoiler alert, we're seeing some real shifts. Mortgage rates are the lowest they've been in almost 2 years. Prices nationally have mostly stabilized, and there's a lot of optimism heading into the spring market. Let's get into the data and what it actually means for you. Let's start with where we've been, because 2025 was a weird year for real estate. The market started off slow. Mortgage rates stayed high, averaging around 7% most of the year. That made it harder for buyers to afford the same home a year or two earlier. And as a result of that, many people just hit pause altogether. Sellers didn't want to give up their low interest rates, and who could blame them? And buyers didn't want to jump into a payment that just felt unmanageable. Spring, which is usually a hot market for real estate, felt underwhelming. There was interest, but a lot of hesitation, and even though the economy was doing okay, uncertainty around inflation, the Fed's decision, and job security kept people on the we're looking, but we want to wait and see. By the end of 2025, national home sales had dropped significantly from the highs in 2021 and 2022. Home prices on average were flat year over year, but then things started to shift, and fast. In the last few months in 2025, we started seeing changes that are now shaping the start of 2026. The Fed cut interest rates 3 times in the fourth quarter. That's a big deal. It signaled they believe inflation off and the economy had stabilized enough to ease up a bit. Mortgage rates responded almost immediately, dropping to around 6.2% by early January. That's the lowest we've seen in 2 years. And this drop in rates brought a lot of people back to the table, especially buyers who had been waiting on the sidelines. The National Association of Realtors reported noticeable bump in buyer activity during the holidays, which is typically a slower season. Lawrence Yin, their chief economist, said it clearly. Buyers are jumping in now that rates are more manageable. We're also seeing consumer confidence rise, and the stock market made a strong gain by the end of the year. For move-up buyers and investors, that matters. More confidence often means more movement in the market. So, what does all this mean going into the spring? First, don't expect a crazy hot market like 2021, but we could be heading into a more normalized feeling spring with more listings, more motivated buyers, and maybe even some price competition in certain areas. Nationally, home prices are expected to stay pretty stable. In 2025, the national median home price increased just by 0.2, and appreciation overall was around 1.7%. That's basically flat. But if rates were to stay there or drop a little bit more, we could see more energy return to the market. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in 2026, the key is going to be timing. And that's exactly what I'm covering in part 2. I'll share what's happening here in San Diego and what I'm seeing with buyers and sellers and where I think the biggest opportunities are. Make sure you follow or subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this video helped, give it a like. I'll see you in part 2. Thanks again for watching.